Today we'll be talking about how you can actually go and set up a professional voicemail. Now I'll walk you through the benefits as well as how you can get a professional voice actor to actually record it for you, and all that just for $5. And lastly, I'll finish off by giving you the actual scripts that you can use to be able to send to that voice actor to make sure that they word it exactly like what you're looking for your business. So if that's something that interests you, be sure you stay tuned. Now first I want to touch on the benefits. I look at really three main points in this category, right? I look at professionalism, screening, and preparation. And I'll break down what those each mean here for you. Now, one, professionalism, it looks so much better if you have a professional sounding voicemail, right? People will take your business much more seriously than if they hear, for example, a voicemail that they'd expect from like a regular phone, you know? I don't know, you have called, right? You know, those phone prompts where you can tell like, you just called a regular phone line. If they're hearing that same prompt for your business, it doesn't shine a good light on you rather than them hearing like a voicemail that they can tell that they're in the right place, right? Now, the second point is screening. You and your team can now actually prioritize the phone calls based on the issue and urgency. And that's a game changer, guys. There's nothing worse than spending 30 minutes talking to someone, asking questions about your services when an actual customer, might have a time-sensitive issue that hasn't been addressed and you just haven't had a chance to get to that phone call yet. To me, this can even lead to increased productivity. And I ran into this issue before, especially if you are the owner or the face of your business and you're the one actually picking up the calls, you will come to realize that when people get you on the phone and they realize it's you, they're gonna ask every question that they can. Think about it. Imagine if you got to talk with a business owner for a product that you were trying to purchase. You might have a ton of questions that you want to ask, and you might even have suggestions that you want to jump into too, right? You might say, oh, you can fix a product like this. Maybe, have you ever thought about adding this to the product? Whatever the case may be, right? And you got to imagine that your customer base is going to want to do the same thing. So it's always, for me, I found that it's better to being able to screen at least those calls. That way you can figure out which ones are the most important or the ones that need to be dealt with more immediately, right? More time sensitive, and dealing with those phone calls first. And then you can get to those phone calls where maybe it's just someone who they're not sure about your product yet and they just had a few questions that they wanted answered. It's better to deal with your customers that you currently have rather than deal with prospective customers. Because to me, I always look at it as you want to make sure that the customers that you have a good experience, because once you create a good experience, then it's more people are going to want to come because of the good experiences that they've heard others have had, rather than you focusing on just continuing to get more customers, getting more customers, and not treating the customers you have well. So that's kind of how you want to look at it. Next is preparation. Actually having time to prepare solutions. It can actually be tough sometimes to come up with solutions right on the spot. If a customer is asking you something complex that you're not used to dealing with, you might want to try to just give them an immediate answer, even though you're not 100% sure of that answer. Me, I like to go more the route of, if I'm able to get a recorded message, for example, then it gives me time to find that answer. That way, whenever I jump back on that call with them, I already have a solution that I can actually present to them that can possibly fix that immediately, right? Fix that situation immediately. So that's kind of how you want to look at it. Now let's go ahead and jump into the actual how-to. Alrighty. So first thing you want to do is you want to brainstorm a script. You want to think about things like, what do you need the actual voicemail for? Do you need just a basic voicemail just telling them that you're going to call them back? Do you need a voicemail to let them know, to ask them what they actually need help with? That may be best so you can actually be prepared, kind of like what we just touched on, right? Prepare in terms of what kind of questions you want to ask them. Or maybe you just need a voicemail that tells them that you don't take calls. Maybe you don't want to get on the phone. You want to just have that voicemail because you need a support number for certain things, certain softwares that you might sign up for, and you just want to have a basic voicemail that tells them, hey, we don't take calls, send us an email at this email address. You kind of want to, in the back of your mind already, think about what do I need this voicemail for? That way, whenever you're scripting it, it's a lot easier for you to figure out what you need to include in the script. Now, what I'll do is I'll link down below 2 actual voicemail scripts that I've created that I used to actually shoot a voicemail. Next, we're going to talk about where to find the right voiceover actor. But first, be sure you hit that subscribe button if you want more content like this and if you find this information valuable. I'm looking to shoot a lot more content about building a business, especially the ground level stuff, right? Whenever you're just starting to get your business launched, little pieces that I didn't realize were important until I really needed them. And it was kind of like putting out fires and me trying to figure out, turning left and right, figuring out where I need to go next, okay? So I think this information will be extremely valuable for you guys that I can release, but you're gonna have to subscribe so you can actually catch those videos. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, when it comes to finding a voiceover actor or a provider, I recommend using Fiverr, especially for something like a voicemail. It's not something super complex where you need to go to other platforms. I prefer using just Fiverr. And what I'll do is I'll link down below to a pretty decent contractor that I used, and I'll let you guys actually hear the voicemail itself so you can actually take a look at it and get a general idea what it sounds like. Now, if you prefer to find a voiceover actor yourself, I recommend that you just search on Fiverr. You can type in voicemail for business or voiceover actor actor for business voicemail or something of the sort. And you'll find a lot of people out there. People are going to charge you crazy prices. You're going to see $50, $20 or more. But for me, it's something that's literally, it's 15 seconds, right? I couldn't imagine that, they're probably knocking these out. They get probably, I don't know, let's say 10 different voicemail orders, and then they just sit down and shoot them all and knock them all out at once. If you're literally just talking for, 10 seconds, 15 seconds for my brand, or let's say, for example, with the contractor that I used, 50 words, you're speaking 50 words for $5. To me, it makes perfect sense for you to charge something like $5 is 10 cents a word. For me, that's pretty reasonable. I'm willing to pay something like that. Just make sure that the price makes sense. You shouldn't really be paying more than $5, maybe $10 max, depending on what you're trying to get.
Thank you for calling Everyday Finance. Unfortunately, due to high call volume, we are unable to take your call. For faster service, you can contact us at support@everydayfinance.co. If you'd like a callback, please leave your name and number after the tone, and we'll reach out as soon as possible. Thank you.
Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to figure out what type of files you need. What I recommend you do is check your whatever phone software that you're currently using, check them to see exactly what type of voice file or type of audio files that they take. And then from there, you want to make sure that that's the audio file that you're going to be getting. You can actually check on the listing of the contractor that you decide to choose. Now, once you do that, they'll typically get it back to you within a day or two. And once you actually have the audio file back, next you want to add it to your phone service. Now, hopefully you know how to do this. If you don't, if you're not sure how to actually add that voicemail, what you'll want to do is just pretty much Google how to add voicemail to and whatever your phone service is, and it should be pretty easy to find, right? How to add voicemail to Grasshopper, how to add voicemail to phone.com, things like that. And so that should be pretty much the gist of it, guys. And now, if you're looking for a new or even a better phone line service, I recommend checking out the video I shot, and I'll link to it down below, on cheap business phone lines, okay? And that'll kind of give you a general idea in terms of what other phone lines or business phone lines are available out there that makes sense depending on the type of business you have. Anyways, that's the gist of it, guys. Check out my video also on how to set up your LLC in 20 minutes for free. Now, I touch on everything in that video that you need to know, including how to even set up a professional email, phone, and business bank account, and more. Okay, so I hope that helps. Be sure you check that out, and let me know what else I could help you with in the comments down below, and also hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.